Hi, everybody. Welcome to this video on creating and editing files in Google Drive. I'm Reverend Isabel Call, and I'm going to hand it over to Amanda Hays, our Justice Coordinator.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda Hays, your Justice Coordinator. And in this video, as Isabel said, we are going to show you how to make and upload and edit files. So I'm going to share my screen. So the first thing I want to show you is the difference between Google Drive and OneDrive. So there's a lot of different cloud-based services. And so one thing that can be confusing for people is if you're in Microsoft Word, you have this document that you want to share, and you're thinking, okay, I could maybe just go to File and Share. And this allows you to upload to OneDrive. But the difference is OneDrive is not the same thing as Google Drive, so this will not help you to share things to Google Drive where other people are able to see it on Google Drive. So that's not what we're going to do. But if we want to share this document, we can still share this document using Google Drive. So what we're going to do is I'm going to first save this in a place where I know where it is. So I'm going to save it on it'll take a second. Oh, while we're waiting for this to respond again, I'm going to show you sort of where we're going to put it. So over here, we're in my Google Drive. I have this little folder here called Google Drive Training. So in this folder, I can add documents in a couple of different ways. So one way, whenever you're adding a document, you always use this button here that says New and has this plus sign. Here we go. So now I can put it on my desktop. Great. Okay, it's saved to my desktop. So now if I want to put it into this Google Drive folder, I can go to File, Upload. Now I'm just going to go to my desktop. Here it is. I'm going to select it, open. So now this document here has been uploaded to Google Drive. So we can see it over here. So edits that I make to this Word document on my computer are not going to show up in Google Drive. Like if I make changes here, you can see that's not going to show up. This is just a copy of what this document was like at the time when I uploaded it. However, I can make edits in here that anyone who has access to this uploaded version can see. So that's sort of an important distinction to keep in mind. I'm going to just close this now. And so there are some other ways that you can also add documents besides uploading. Another thing that you can do when you are uploading, you can actually upload an entire folder at once. So if you have a folder on your computer that has a bunch of files that you'd like to make accessible to other people on Google Drive, you can upload it all at the same time with this folder upload. That pretty much works the same as file upload. And again, the edits that you make afterwards are not going to show up between those two things. It's just a copy of what that thing on your computer was at the time when you uploaded it. But if you want folders and files that you can change, that you can create new in Google Drive and that will change as you're changing them, another thing you can do is you can create a folder. So this is now a Google Drive folder. So maybe I want to put this example into that folder. So I would just click on it, drag it up here. It'll ask me about changing who has access, which we can talk more about, but usually it's fine. You just hit move. I can also make a Google document. So I would just click on Google document. It's asking me about creating in a shared folder because this folder is shared with Reverend Isabel, and so she has access to it. So if I create this document here, Reverend Isabel will also have access to it, which I am perfectly fine with. Alrighty, so this is a example document, we'll call it. This is where you put the name of the file. And then I can create some words in here. I might write Google Drive is really great. And as you can see, Isabel has actually come in here into the Google Drive document as well. You can see her cursor is the pink. So she's making some comments and things. One thing that you can do besides actually editing the file is you can make comments. So maybe I want to make a comment about this. If I highlight it, then there's this add comment thing that appears here. I could also insert comment from the. So maybe I'm like, well, not just great, it's fantastic. And once I'm done writing my comment, I'll post the comment by hitting comment. So Reverend Isabel can actually create comments as well. Another thing that you can do is suggest, oh, there it is. It just appeared. You can also suggest edits. So maybe I want to let people know, okay, I recommend, oops, I just moved great. I recommend getting rid of great and adding in fantastic. So this change hasn't actually been made yet, it's just been suggested. So someone can come in and say either accept the suggestion or reject it. So if you accept it, it'll be changed. So I could undo that, and maybe I don't want to accept that suggestion. So then it won't be changed. So this is one of the great things about Google Drive, that you can sort of always hit the undo button. You have these ways where you can make suggestions, but they can be accepted or not accepted. Maybe I want to accept, these are Reverend Isabel's suggestions. So I can accept that suggestion here. And then sometimes you just get concerned that, you know, people will have made a whole bunch of edits to your document and you actually want an old version of the document. And the cool thing about Google Drive is that you can always go back to previous versions. So you go up to File, Version History, and you can see the version history. So I can go back to any version of this document that has ever existed since we made it. maybe I want to go back to this point. Maybe I want to go back to this point. Maybe I just want to go back to when it was a blank document. And I can hit restore this version to go back to that. But I think I'll go back to this version. So if you do that, you will revert the whole document to that. So,
something before? I wanted to point out that when you're in that version history, kind of cool because you can see what each of the people did in a different color.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. I want to see, so this is something I don't totally know. Do we still have the old version that had more stuff in it? We do. Okay. So even though I restored and replaced that version that had all that other stuff in it, I actually can still get back to the version from before that had the additional stuff. So if I want to restore this version, all right, now we're back to where we were before. So this is a wonderful feature of Google Drive where you basically can't lose past versions of things. So you don't have to be quite as afraid about making changes to stuff because you know you can always get back what you had before.
Could I suggest, Amanda, will you show us how to switch between suggesting and editing mode again?
Sure, that is a good idea. So up here, it shows that I'm actually in suggesting mode. So if I make a comment, you can see because it's got this green highlighting, this colored highlighting here. I think right now it's green because the suggesting color is green. Although if Reverend Isabel makes a suggestion, it'll turn up in pink because right now you can see Reverend Isabel's color in the Google document is pink. So maybe I'm done suggesting. I'll make some real changes without having to always accept them. So I can get out of suggesting mode by going back to editing mode. Or I could also go to viewing mode, and now I'm just viewing what's here. I'm not able to make any edits or comments. I can go back to editing mode. And there's actually ways that you can share documents with people with different abilities to use these different modes. So you can share with full editing access, you can share with commenting access, or you can share with viewing access. And those are all different levels that we'll talk about in a future video. Was there anything else you wanted to add, Reverend Isabel?
No, I think this is a good start. And everybody feel free to ask us questions if they're coming up after you see the video. Or just watch it again.
Yeah. Alrighty. Thanks, everybody.